Driving License Theory Practice Exam Part 1.
To which road users must you show particular care? To the persons with obvious disabilities, to taxi drivers, to children. You must be particularly careful towards the following road users: all those who are not or are no longer able to cope with the demands of road traffic. This means that the principle of trust is abolished. Due diligence towards children, elderly, and/or frail people, disabled or drunk cyclists is up to you.
You are the first person to arrive at the scene of an accident with injured persons. What should you do first? As a rule, check the seriousness of the injuries, drive to the next telephone box, and call the rescue service. Make the scene of the accident safe. If you are the first to reach an accident with an injured person, keep a cool head and first secure the accident scene as your first act. This allows you to actively prevent further accidents and protect the injured. Then look for the injured and administer first aid. Inform the ambulance.
You want to turn right at the junction. What should you do? I steer clearly to the right, in order to create a space in the right-hand lane. I refrain from turning right, and remain in my lane. I wait until all the vehicles have passed by, and then I move into the right-hand lane. You would have to switch to the right lane, that is blocked by the waiting vehicles. Thus, you would hinder other road users on their lane while waiting. Therefore, you better avoid turning here.
After turning left, you want to turn immediately right. How should you position your vehicle? Like the blue car, the red car, the green car. If you want to turn right again immediately after turning left, you get in proper lane on the right, if there are 2 lanes for turning left. Otherwise, keep as far to the right as possible. This is the only way you can turn right after a left turn without hindering other road users.
What is the right course of action? Continue driving, because the 2 pedestrians have to give way to me. Wait, because the 2 pedestrians have priority. Proceed in front of the oncoming pedestrian, because he is required to wait. The car has to wait until the pedestrians have crossed the street. If you want to turn into a road that is being crossed by pedestrians, the pedestrians have priority over the car. You as a car driver have to show consideration and need to stop.
What does it mean when the flashing blue light of a vehicle is switched on, but not the siren? A breakdown vehicle is on duty and on its way to its destination. Warning of fire brigade in action. Warning of an accident or other dangers. A blue flashing light warns you of accidents or situations such as a fire run. Any driver should allow vehicles with blue flashing lights to pass through, as this may indicate an emergency, vehicle escort, or a platoon.
What is correct in this situation? Have to wait in the center of the junction. I may turn unimpeded. I must allow the oncoming traffic to pass through. Basically, when turning left, you as a car driver have to grant the oncoming traffic right of way. Since in this situation, the green arrow lights on the opposite street corner, you can assume that the traffic light for the oncoming traffic is red, so you can turn.
You want to leave a property lot and turn right into a road. Cyclists are approaching from the left. Who is required to wait? Everyone is required to stop and then agree among one another who should proceed first. The cyclists have to wait. Ahavi to wait. As a matter of principle, you have to wait at property exits and give priority to all other road users. This also applies to pedestrians on the sidewalk and cyclists. Be especially careful here.
You are on a roundabout. What should you remember? You can only drive over a central island if this is unavoidable because of your vehicle's size. You are not allowed to stop on the roadway in a roundabout. You must indicate to leave the roundabout. In a roundabout, you may only stop if this is unavoidable due to traffic. For example, due to a traffic jam. Indicate when leaving the roundabout. You can only drive over paved or asphalted central islands if it is unavoidable due to the size of the vehicle. Always give priority to cyclists traveling on your side and remaining in the roundabout.
What must you remember when you want to change lanes? You must signal your intention to change lanes in time. You must pay attention to the traffic following behind. You must always brake heavily before changing lanes. Turn the turn signal on and make sure that you do not endanger other road users before you start to change lanes. Do not brake abruptly. If there are vehicles on the roadway that you want to change to, you have to wait for a sufficiently large gap in the traffic.
In front of you is a pedestrian crossing, beyond which the traffic in your lane is backed up. What should you do? Wait on the pedestrian crossing to shorten the traffic jam. Come to a stop before the pedestrian crossing to allow people to cross. Wait on the pedestrian crossing if there is no one in sight. When traffic is halting, you must not stop on a pedestrian crossing. Here, the same rule of intersections and T-junctions applies, which must also be kept clear.
You are overtaken by a police vehicle, which pulls in immediately in front of you. The words, "Please follow," appear illuminated on the roof. To whom does this apply? To me, to all vehicles in my lane, for police and rescue vehicles following behind. The signal, "Please follow," on a police car applies to the vehicle immediately behind the police. In this case for you, the police may stop you for traffic control. Follow the police vehicle and stop when it stops.
You can watch the video 5 times. If you watch the video 5 times or skip it, you can't come back and watch it again. What is the right course of action now? I allow any cross traffic the right of way. I drive through the junction quickly, because yellow is displayed. I wait at the stop line for the next set of green lights. If the yellow traffic light flashes, the traffic light system is out of operation. Then the general right of way applies. You are not on a priority road. Therefore, possible cross traffic has the right of way.
At the entrance to an industrial estate, there is a St. Andrew's cross with the supplementary sign. Industrial estate, rail vehicles have precedence. What must you remember? Approach level crossings at moderate speed only. Rail vehicles have precedence at all level crossings. Motor vehicles have precedence at level crossings without St. Andrew's cross. Even if there are no barriers and no diagonal crosses at the level crossings in the entire industrial area, motor vehicle drivers must give priority to all rail vehicles. Always expect a train to come. Observe the railway lines accurately and approach the tracks only with moderate speed.
Where is stopping prohibited? On the roadway, if there is a sufficiently wide hard shoulder on the right. At taxi ranks. Between lane dividers when direction arrows are marked on the roadway. You may only stop where you do not endanger other road users. This is the case, for example, if there is a hard shoulder separated from the carriageway by a continuous white line. You are not allowed to stop on marked lanes that are used for getting into the right-of-way. On the carriageway if there is a hard shoulder. At bus stops or other public transport stops. At taxi ranks, so as not to block the access of taxis. On motorways or motorways, not even on the hard shoulder. Watch out for two-wheelers.
You are approaching a level crossing where the barriers are open. What do? Approach at moderate speed. Look along the railway line. Proceed at the same speed, as road traffic always has precedence in such cases. Wait in front of the level crossing if you would have to wait on it because of traffic. Nevertheless, as you approach a railroad crossing with the barriers open, you must reduce speed and be aware of the track. The car driver should make sure that the transition is possible without danger and that no rail vehicle is approaching. When you see that a traffic jam could occur, it is necessary to keep a distance so that no car will end up standing on the rails. Rail transport always has priority.
What is the significance of orange warning plates on a vehicle? It is transporting easily perishable food, dangerous goods, cattle. An orange warning sign indicates vehicles that are loaded with dangerous goods, so-called hazardous materials transportation. Other car drivers should be warned this way. In the event of a traffic accident, the orange warning sign serves as a clue to the emergency services.
What does the braking distance depend on? The condition of the braking system, road surface, tires. The braking distance of your vehicle depends on the tires, the brake system, and the condition of the road. Braking forces are generated powerfully and quickly by a functioning brake system and are optimally transmitted to the roadway only if there is sufficient tread. The static friction of the tires depends on the road condition.
You can watch the video 5 times. If you watch the video 5 times or skip it, you can't come back and watch it again. You are being followed by an ambulance with its blue lights flashing and siren sounding. What should you do? I move out of the way immediately without endangering others. I prompt the driver of the vehicle beside me to make way. I make way immediately once the traffic light has turned green. You are required to make space for the ambulance as soon as possible. Be careful not to endanger other road users. If possible, turn right if you are on a right lane. On the highway and multi-lane roads, an alley must be formed.